thrift shop operator represent your
I'm gonna be here,
thrift shopper. You might know what I'm talking about as far as preparing for a situation like what we are getting into. Getting ready for work, that's all good. Be blessed that you are working and have a job. Because there are so many that has not have that blessing lately. So they've lost that blessing, but they will regain work as we come out of the recession and the government shutdown. Now, some of the reports I've heard through the grapevine is that the administration is threatening not just to temporarily lay off some of these workers, but to fire them altogether, just to cut them loose. Let me see. Here's an AP link. Let me back that audio down. See, I'm watching I have to watch 3 or 4 things since I'm the producer and everything here. It's careful monitoring that I gotta deal with over here. Thank you. That's way better. Okay, good to hear. So if you're on your way to work, I hope you have a pleasant run on your work day or your shift, whatever that shift may be. May it be one of the most blessed shifts that you've ever had at whatever job that you are performing at. What I'm doing today as we're going over getting off the grid, preparing just in case that we are encountered with a total upheaval, total meltdown of society, as what has been predicted for years, and it looks like we're on the verge of that. So tell me what you think. Martial law, everybody is saying martial law is right around the corner. Yep, martial law is right around the corner because they're riling up the crowds. Whenever you mow down innocent people, elderly people that's out there peaceful protesting, all that's going to do is stir up the beehive for sure. That elderly couple was not trying to stir up anything. They were out there in front of that gate in Portland just trying to lay down some roses. We're talking about an 87-year-old couple, veterans on top of that. And they mowed them down. They came out and knocked them over and caused a concussion, and that person is still in the hospital. That tells you what they think of us. Okay, and I can get way off into the weeds about the roots of the mentality of some of those individuals. They're just trying to collect that money while they can, while the Orange Menace is still alive in the White House, because by the time he gets out there, by the time he's gone and let's say the Dems take back over, then all of this is going to change. So they're cashing in on that $50,000 sign-up bonus. Plus, I believe the salary is $130,000 a year, somewhere in that range. So I know that they're out there taking advantage of that and cashing in. And we can also get into the weeds of that. Yes, thrift shoppers. Yes, I believe that was a pivotal moment in history because, one, it was used as a political hype. That's what Trump and company likes to take advantage of, political hype. They stirred it up. They made him the martyr. They played the video of his assassination literally round the clock for almost 24 hours after it happened, blaming the shooter was a leftist, radical leftist, when they had no information at all on him or her or whatever their background was. We know it was a him right now, but to just get out there the second that he's murdered and saying that he's on the left and he made Charlie a martyr and blah 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 without any information that minutes after he's assassinated, there's even no time to just get out there and make a statement like that until you get the full investigation on who he is, his background, and everything. So it was a pivotal moment in history. It stirred up the bee's nest even more. Look what happened after that. Look at what you see right now. That picture I got up there, that's a judge's house that you see right there that got firebombed for ruling against Trump. And that's only part of the main picture there. That's only part of it. And see, it's only going to grow from there. Thrift. It's only going to grow from there. He's been immortalized and all like that. Did you see his service? That, and you mentioned it. You nailed that. A moment in history. Okay, think about the service that they gave for CK. Okay, think about the service. This was not an elective official. He was not a governing official. He wasn't even a mayor. He wasn't even an alderman. Okay? Yet, his service was attended by more White House cabinet members than any non-servicemen in U.S. history. So that made history right then and there. That shows you what they're doing. This is social mental conditioning, and it is set and it's falling into place just the way they want it to happen. Okay? I've never seen anything like that. You had, and that's just who was on stage, several White House cabinet members, Bondi and all of them. And then there were a few sprinkled in the audience. I saw Kash Patel sitting up in there in the audience. He didn't get up on stage, but he was there. And a few others. Kennedy was, I believe he was up on stage. I did a stream just about that. I ran off all the names. So he was there, and this was unprecedented right there. Unprecedented. That lasted for hours. But that is, what do we call that? Visuals. It's optics. It's the optics, folks. Okay. That you see there, it's ramping up right now in Portland, trying to bring you as much of the action as possible here. So stay tuned, hang with me. We got 10 minutes left in the corner. What was I saying about okay, let's go back to the solar panels. Yeah, you can buy solar panel for your house, little portable solar panels for as low as $100. So I saw it on Amazon today. I rechecked. Actually, I looked that up months ago. I just happened to go back on Amazon to do a little researching on that, and they've added a few more in there. And I noticed there's a couple that are like $108, $118. And those are in the 200 watt range. So they're out there. There are ways to get around this, folks. There is definitely ways to get around this if you put your heads together, keep banding together instead of splitting us apart. Let this bring us all together. That's what we're about here on TinmanLIVE in the corner too. Coming together on the corner to speak our mind, speak our peace, get it off your chest so you don't go out there busting up some windows in the city, okay? Now is the time. Stock up. I took a picture of my cabinet full of food the other day. I got to show that to you. I'll show that to you. Panel strips. But yeah, look into those. Even if things don't get to this stage, which I'm pretty sure they will, it's just good to be prepared. It's just a good thing to have something like a portable power generator on standby, because there are still roving blackouts that occur. At my house, where I'm at now, blackout occurs just about what is this? A blackout occurs just about every year. Just about every year in the summertime when the air conditioning usage goes up and everything, there is a blackout here, and usually it happens in the early evening hours, so it's not too bad. And usually the transformer down the street blows, and there's been a couple of occasions where I can actually hear the thing go that it blew. So that happens, and if that's the case where you're low on power, if your cell phone needs charging and everything, you can fire up that portable generator. If there's something sensitive in your refrigerator, you can plug it in to that portable solar powered generator. Okay, don't need no gasoline or fluids or anything, just the natural sun. Charge it up during the day, keep it charged up, and you'll be just as snug as a bug in the rug on that tip. Okay, power generators, that's it. Stocking up on food. If anybody else has any other suggestions about stocking up, saving up your monies, and by the way, like I said, that's on the low end, $100. I mean, they go up, but you can get a decent one, a pretty decent one that will handle a few things like your AC, your cell phone, your refrigerator, for about $500 or so, $500-600. You invest in that, and you got something that will definitely and conveniently last you through this civil war, this civil upheaval there. How you doing, Blue? How you doing? How you feel? How is it going? Welcome in. Welcome in. Come on into the chat. Please hit that like and subscribe button, y'all. That's what's getting us to our goal for monetization so that we can make more improvements in the studio, on the channel, pay for anybody that's here helping out with the studio. And the growth of a channel is essential. We got some food giveaways coming up. We got toy giveaways coming up for Christmas. We are keeping you guys up on the latest news and information. Besides, at night, we cut it loose where there's no politics allowed, just watching the world go by. Tune in for the night shows, which is called Buddha Chill Party. And on Saturdays, we got another Saturday Night Live starting at 11 p.m. So you might want to come in and stop in and give us a shout there too when you just want to kick back at the end of a hard working day, a hard work week, you know, kick back with your wine, your beer, whatever. Just enjoy the world as we see it. We follow everything on those nights. Police chases, scanner action, different countries, just different things. You know, we follow all the, if there's any breaking news, we can bring it to you then as well. But as you see here, we're covering the state of emergency and the ICE raids, Trump declaring war in front of all the generals out there. How many of the generals will adhere to that? There are all these avenues, folks, that we can go deep down into the woods on why Trump and Hedges said the things that they said during that Patton-like presentation in front of all these worldly generals there. Okay, I don't know if you guys remember, or if you're old enough to remember the movie Patton. At the beginning of the movie, General Patton came out and addressed his generals the exact same way, the exact same format. The background was a giant United States flag. And that's what Hedges and Trump came out in front of a giant United States flag. I kid you not. Look up the movie Patton and you shall see. And unlike Patton, they went way south. They were fat shaming the generals and everything, daring them to stick around if they didn't like the new guidelines that they were laying down and blah, 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 blah. If you didn't see that tape, then I'm going to try and bring it up for you guys. Okay, I'm going to try and bring it up for you guys so you can watch that as well. Okay, anybody else got something to add to it? We are in the state of emergency. We got the call of action going on, as you see right there. Take down the number I'm going to leave it up there for a couple of minutes. Take it on down, soak it on in. We got a poll question going on. A 100% of y'all said Brandon and the governor gets an F. Is that what I'm saying right? 100% F? Whoa. Okay. I didn't expect that. 100% into the last thing. There's the poll, y'all. What do you think? What grade would you give Chicago governor and Chicago's mayor and the governor of Illinois in handling the ICE and National Guard situation? What grade would you give them? An A, a B, a C, or a D? Well, not a D, an F. Excuse me, an F. Because it's a fine line. It's a gray area between D and F. You might as well just give me the F, okay? Because D don't mean nothing. You're just in limbo in D. And then F means you totally failed. So what say you? Take the poll question. Take the poll question. Write down the number that you see on your screen there. We have a few minutes left to the show here. Liquefier, how you doing? Jabba Pig and Content Kenta Johnson are repugnant. Oh, wow. They are repugnant, huh? And Kunta Kenta Johnson? Oh, wow. Well, I will say Johnson's ratings are very, very low. That's for sure. Yes, sir. So how you doing, Liquefier? What's going on? Thank you for coming in, tuning in. Hit the like, folks. Hit that like and subscribe to support the channels. Keep supporting the channel so we can make all the applicable upgrades here for you guys to enjoy even more features in our programming. We got 3 or 4 different types of programs that we put out here on TinmanLIVE. This is the one called Mark's Corner. Mark's Corner, the most safest corner in America. Only on
TinmanLIVE is go.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And we're reviewing the events of the day, the topics, discussions of the day. Thanks for the likes. Hope you subscribe. Once we get up to a certain number of subscribers, as you may know, then we are monetized. We can take donations right now, folks. I'm on Venmo and Cash App. Go to the homepage on YouTube, and the address for our Venmo and Cash App is right there. But if you want to wait for the monetization, bring some friends and other members of the family over. Have them subscribe. Let's keep this channel growing so that we can keep the formats growing for you. Thanks for stopping by. You guys are coming in on the tail end of the Mark's Corner, by the way, but we're going to keep it going a few minutes longer for you so you can enjoy some more elaborate closing moments of this show. I got some other feeds that I can bring up. And what I want to do is enhance some of the facets of my equipment here. I've just programmed these feeds up right here. You see one of the judges' homes that just got firebombed the other day because she spoke out and ruled against Trump. What do you say about that? Illinois issues Trump the stop the deployment order. There's been 3 executive orders signed by Mayor Johnson. And the latest one is the ICE-free zones. What do you think about that? Come on in. Let me know what you think. Speak your piece. Speak your mind. It is... Let me see here. Where are we at here? Okay, I'm watching the Senate floor, too. I'll be watching other feeds at the same time, other stuff, breaking news and stuff. So you got to consider I have to monitor several different things at the same time and work this board. But it's all worth it. It's all fun and good because that's what it takes to run a studio like this that I built recently. So there it is. There's your breaking news. You can give a comment on it if you like. And let me see. We got the federal government shut down. What do you think about that? Don't forget to participate in our poll for the day, folks, that you will see over in the chat section there. There's a poll that you can click down. If it's not readable now, just click on it and it'll open up. What grade would you give the governing bodies of Chicago on how they're handling the ICE raids and the National Guard? What do you say? Do you give them an A, a B, a C, or an F? So far, 100% is giving these guys an F. Oh boy. You see that stormtrooper there? See, I'm calling them stormtroopers because these are a hypnotized Star Wars-like army that Trump has put together out there to terrorize and separate families just like they did back in the days, going all the way back to Nazi Germany. This is the game plan, folks. This is to rile us all up, to keep us separated. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for the okie doke, because that's what they want you to do. They want you to come out there and start swinging and fighting and blowing stuff up. And then next thing you know, that gives you know who the excuse to go, you see, martial law. Boom, martial law. And once he declares that, our cities are locked down. So let's not go for that. Let's not fall for that. What say you? Thanks for the likes, y'all. Keep it going. Keep the subs growing. We will eventually get there, folks, with the help of you guys out there. I appreciate all the views, likes, even share, too. We're working on some other platforms, too. Right now, I'm mainly broadcasting through YouTube, the YouTube server, and eventually we will be streaming through multiple servers, or shall I say multiple platforms like Facebook and Twitch and Rumble and stuff. So we're coming to, if this is not your platform of choice, we'll be coming to one of your platforms soon, hopefully by the holidays, y'all. So we're just waiting to build up a little bit more momentum. TinmanLIVE is probably one of the newest live stream platform networks online right now. I've been live streaming for years, actually. I go way back, back in the days. That's where the nickname Tin Man came from, when I used to broadcast on CB Radio. That was my CB Radio name, and it just stuck in the neighborhood. I ran a video production company called VideoWorks, and sure enough, we figured how to reverse some of the plugs on the equipment and start broadcasting. So I was one of the original video pirates. They call them called pirate television. That's what we called it back then, pirate television, and that's how it was born back then, back in the days. We were some of the pirates, and because I only broadcasted in the neighborhood, in my building. This was on the advent of cable, right when cable was really coming out and starting to hit. That's when we broadcasted on Channel 4, Chicago. And I could have went Channel 3, but I chose Channel 4. And the rest is history. I had a video production company, so it was easy to show programming from my clients. We had some of the best clients in Chicago, including the Mary Wong Comedy Team, the Vanessa Davis Band, Tankston's Martial Arts featuring Larry Tankston, Chicago City Ballet, and so on and so on and so on. So I've been doing this off and on ever since then. And what I decided to do after I closed up my barbecue business this past year was go back to my roots and incorporate everything that technology has to offer into my broadcast now, streaming, which is called now live streaming. But back in them days, it was called Closed circuit television, y'all. Closed circuit. Well, you know, Liquefier, I have mixed opinions about that, but no, I don't like, I'm not in favor of taxes going to people that are illegal in this country. There is a fine line about humanity's sake purpose. If they are here and they are legal, they just can't be left to starve and die. I mean, a lot of them survive very well on their own. And believe it or not, a lot of them are paying into the taxing system because if you think about it, they have to buy the products. They have to shop for toilet paper for their butt too, just like me and you. They have to buy food from the grocery stores. They have to support the small businesses that are paying into the tax system. So it's a hand-in-hand thing that's kind of going on there. There's that gray area, you know. They have to live here. If they choose to stay here and live here, they have to invest into the taxing system. Liquefier says, but we can't take off the world otherwise. What's the point? You mean you can't like take everybody in from the world? Is that what you mean? Can't take care of the world. Okay. Well, no. I see where you're coming from. We can't. I mean, there's only so much we can do here because our economy is up the tank too. It's up the tank. And you know what? I mean, if you look into it, the majority of the world is getting along just fine without us, especially after, check this out, especially after Trump did his tariff bombardment on the world. If you do the research, you look into it, a lot of these countries have now gotten together and says, screw the U.S. We don't need them. Now we will trade with each other. Okay? Now, our kickback might be a few bucks less, but we can get along fine because we're not paying that exorbitant tariff tax. That tariff tax is a tax on us, the U.S. citizen, too. So all of the countries are now band together. And I'm telling you, we predicted this years ago, too. The countries are banding together and they're going, screw the U.S., this is what we're doing. Instead of getting whatever from the U.S. or from whatever, we'll get it from you, Russia. We'll get it from you, Bulgaria. We'll get it from you, Saudi Arabia. They've already started redirecting the flow of their money. So there's also a wave of people that have left the United States. See, folks, what I'm going to tell you is all the stuff that mainstream media is not telling you, okay? Mainstream's not telling you how many people have left the United States. And I'm not talking about black and brown people. I'm talking about white folks, okay? They have left, and on independent media, I'm hearing just about every other day, especially since Trump started running again. There are so many people, especially white people, that says, if he gets elected again, I'm leaving the country. Sure enough, some of them have left the country. And if things keep evolving the way they are evolving, more will leave the country. Now, do you know what that's going to affect? Think about it. What is that going to affect? That's going to affect the voting polls of these cities and states, the voting patterns, okay? Because you know that a lot of those people that left is either going to be voting left or right, more than likely left, okay? So that's going to affect the voting pattern. See, everything works in conclusive with each other, everything. And the world is now laughing at us. We are the laughing stock of the world, and the major countries out here have gotten together. Canada stood right up to Trump. Do you remember that? He stood right up to Trump and dropped a bomb on him. Well, screw you. We don't need you. This is what we're about to do. And Trump had to back off. See, when you stand up to a bully, that's what happens. When you stand up to a bully, they got to back off. He was talking about taking over Greenland and Iceland and all like that. And they were like, no, it ain't happening. It ain't happening, dude. Back off. So, on one hand, Liquid Fire, I hear what you're saying. Can't take care of the rest of the world, but at the same time, the rest of the world says, we don't need you to take care of us, man. We got this. We got this. Okay? Your economy is messed up, and the value of your dollar is down. The value of the Chinese yen is now more valuable than the US dollar right now, folks. And the value of the other dollars of some of these other countries is slowly rising. It's slowly rising. So if we don't get it together, we are going to turn out like the third world countries that some of these countries used to be back in the day. Okay? The developed countries are up to snuff with technology and everything. We are the only developed country that charges and puts people in a poorhouse for medicine, okay, hospitalization. That's just a fact. So we can stop giving money to all the other countries in foreign aid, money we don't have. Well, that's possibly, I mean, I wouldn't say all the countries. There are some countries that do need money for foreign aid. And it's all politically tied, folks. It's all depends on what the ulterior motives is. Those countries that are suffering like that is because of the resources in those countries that we and Russia and China and the Saudis got their eyes on. Okay? Putin wants to take over Ukraine basically for the resources that he can get from Ukraine. Netanyahu wants to totally gentrify Gaza for the resources. There's one of the biggest oil refineries off of the coast of Gaza, y'all. Okay? Don't let them play. It's all about economics. The world evolves around economics. We all evolve around each other. And we are getting squeezed out of the world economics. And if you don't believe me, just sit back and watch. As the song goes, don't believe me, just watch. Okay? So we can stop giving to Israel. We should have stopped giving to Israel a long time ago, man. That's it. What is your take on the Jewish question? I say let it be. Let everything be. We need to, the question is, what is their take on the Jewish question? Because this, yes, Jews are people too. If you know the history of the origin of the Jews, that's another road we can go down to, but we're not going to really go down there right now. Okay, we can go deep in the woods, and I can go real deep in the woods on a lot of stuff here. There's not enough time on that. We are running overboard with the program today. It's already a quarter after, but I'm just sticking around because I'm enjoying the conversation with you guys here at the corner. I'm hanging out at the corner. I'm going to have to jump off the corner pretty soon and go and take care of some business in the back. But Farrakhan had a lot to say about them. Yes, he did. I haven't seen Louis lately. Have you? I haven't seen him lately. I gotta see if I can pull him up. Jesse Jackson Sr. celebrated his, I believe, 87th birthday the other day. excuse me, and I seen a lot of videos of his birthday celebration and Operation Push. But if you guys saw that video or even the live broadcast of it, his sons were there, Santina, his daughter was there. They was all on the stage in front of the camera. And I've seen pictures of the event, and I haven't seen the Reverend in any of those pictures at all. I haven't seen them in the pictures. Not one. Which is strange. There was a big cake, big birthday cake up there on the podium, the altar for him. There were bags. I believe they had a free giveaway, because I saw those giveaway bags, laid out all around the pulpit and the stage and right in front of the pews and everything. So all of that was set out. You saw everybody on camera except the birthday boy, which means that he might not be doing too well or so well. He does have Parkinson's disease, and he really doesn't talk too much anymore. He's wheelchair bound, but the lack of his presence at a major celebration like that, at least the camera could have panned over to him or something. But he wasn't on camera at all. So it is a good possibility that his condition has worsened to the point where they don't feel too comfortable about bringing him out. Isn't Johnson's approval at 6% right now? You know what? That's debatable. I heard about that, but I believe that was some propaganda position. I looked at his approval rating as of yesterday. It was at 26%. Now, it depends on what your sources tell you. You got to be careful about these sources out here, okay? Because there are some that will spoon feed you the wrong sources just for you to fall down a certain rabbit hole, follow a certain belief or something. But the last I checked, it was at 26%, which is still low. You see what I mean? You see, well, all they did was take the 2 and remove that from the 6, which means you got 6. That's what I was saying. Light fire, it's not a prize. It's still pretty low, but I believe propaganda media came up with that 6%, and that's another thing. I'll get into that later. I don't want to go there right now, but there are other independent streamers out here that is going along with the propaganda as well. I don't want to get into that or call any names out, but we're about laying the truth out here. The most recent information possible, the live streams, we're going to try and bring out some. I have usually four or five screens up late night when we come back out. Come back out later on. I think I'm going to do a Buddha chill. We got Buddha chill at night starting at 11 o'clock, and we go as late as 3, 4 in the morning sometimes. So tune into that. I'm going to have some other feeds up for that. You will get the notice if you subscribe. You will get the notice that we are going live, and that's if I feel up to it. The other night I was supposed to go live, but I wasn't really feeling up to it. I was kind of down and out, and I had a headache and all like that, and I just didn't want to get in front of the camera feeling like that. So I was kind of shaky earlier today. I'm also waiting on some news from some family because one of my sisters had passed earlier in the week, and waiting to hear for news on her service. So I'm really careful about scheduling or pre-scheduling certain segments of the broadcast. Exactly. Thank you so much. Liquid fire, right on. Okay, well, look, folks, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to end this right now. We usually hang out at my corner for about an hour. We usually go from 2 to 3 p.m. on Tuesdays and Fridays. We're off Thursdays from all live streaming. I have a message board that I turn on and stream with the latest messages and little tidbits of information. There's obituary notices on there. There's lost pets notices on there, and so forth and so forth. So watch the message board sometimes. If you have anything to contribute to the message board, the criteria is there for you to check out and see if you want to participate in that. Okay, I'm checking this poll again, still at 100%. The governance of Chicago is not looking too good tonight. Okay, hopefully the Cubs will look a lot better. That Cub game is that tonight or tomorrow? I think it's tomorrow. Cubs versus Milwaukee, for those of you that are following sports. Or shall I say baseball in particular. I'm more of a baseball fan than anything. Baseball, some basketball, little hockey. And if the Bears get into the playoffs and advance from there, I'm in it. I'm all for it. Okay, so we are going to end the show. I'm going to give you this number one more time. In the meantime, people, take care. Have a good one. Talk to you later. Love each other. Talk to your neighbor. Say hello. Make the world a better place. We out of here. Bye.